from tonight's games right now on the Sky Sports app. As Arsenal beat Brentford by 2-0. Villa made it 8 wins out of 9 with a 4-3 victory at Brighton. Palace winning 1-0 at Turf Moor. Forest winning 1-0 at Molineux, who's still without a victory this season. It's the joint worst start by any Premier League side. Leeds 3-1 winners over Chelsea, and it finished 1 apiece at Anfield between Liverpool and Sunderland. So they are still rooted just 2 points, Wolves. Burnley beaten again on 10. Then come West Ham, who've slipped in there tonight because Leeds United have climbed out of the bottom 3 with that victory. 14 points on the board from 14. Forest looking more comfortable now, have a 4-point gap on the bottom 3. Elsewhere, Liverpool in 8th place still. Sunderland stay in 6th. Palace up to 5th. Villa up to 3rd. Then it's City and Arsenal restoring their 5-point advantage at the top.
It's Flo. I think it's one of those nights again when luck isn't on your side. I'm looking at you, Curtis, because you thought you had the assist.
No, it's more for Flo's goal.
And Flo, it was an own goal.
Yeah, it doesn't matter today. We draw. We wanted to win, so yeah, that's all what counts today. So yeah, unlucky.
Unlucky. What do you make of the performance? Because you were calling for more aggression after the defeat to PSV, and Flo, you showed that aggression with the goal that ultimately was an own goal. But was it a better performance, do you feel?
I think so, yeah. And I feel that has been the main point of the whole team and the staff as well, that we've spoke about as one. Obviously, you know, we've got the guys in the team that can play, that can score, that can assist. But we've just asked for more aggressiveness. And I think, yeah, we showed that there. And as you said there, with Flo, a guy who, you know, he wants the ball a lot, but of how much that he ran, and yeah, he tackled and stuff. And yeah, just a shame that his goal's down is an own goal.
It was better second half though, wasn't it? It was slow in the first half.
Yeah, but at times it has to be slow. Yeah, we're playing against a team who sat back a bit. We thought that they was going to press more, but yeah, the more that we pass around, it drags them out and then it makes gaps. And yeah, that's the likes of myself, Flo and Domino. Them is you know, if we can get the ball in there, then yeah, we can score or assist. And it showed there at the end. Who's shooting more and gaps are all there. But yeah, as I said, it's one of them nights again, yeah, where it's just the last, I don't know, small bit.
And Flo, as a player coming into this team, when Curtis say it's just, you know, just the small things that are causing probably the biggest problems. How would you assess the season so far for you at Liverpool?
Yeah, first of all, I was very welcomed by the team. One of the main reasons, also Curtis, but yeah, it's a very good team, and I'm very happy to be here. Of course, it was now the last weeks were a bit difficult for us as a team, but we are on a good way to come back, and yeah, we are doing everything to come back and win games, and
that's just it, isn't it? The win at the weekend, and then the point tonight. So it's still unbeaten. You've got this mini run that you're on.
Yeah, of course, we wanted to win today. We want to be on the top of the table, and yeah, we just have to continue, keep the hard work, and yeah, continue like this, and then hopefully things will change.
Well, thanks for your time. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, they're not quite out of the woods yet, are they, Liverpool? And it might have been a lot worse tonight had Chiesa not managed to keep the Isidore effort out of the net in the dying moments. We were all amazed watching it to look up and see Isidore suddenly one-on-one when Sunderland were under so much pressure in that moment. How did it happen?
Well, Liverpool was chasing the game. You can see Chiesa is the last man there. And Isidore's really bright, Daniel, when he gets himself now in a one-on-one situation. Roosters a great kick.
Amazing kick, and you're thinking to yourself, you've snuck away, and you got your big opportunities, goes around the goalkeeper, but you know what? Credit to Chiesa for getting back. But if you see him here, he's thinking to himself, keeper, can you do it for me? Can you do it for me? He plays it, it's a perfect ball. He's got all the time in the world.
What did he get wrong, anything?
And you know, I would have took that earlier based on if Ali gave him an angle. He gave him an angle to shoot earlier on. but he decides to go around him, which typically speaking, it's a safer finish if you have the ability to go around the goalkeeper. He's done everything right. Didn't anticipate Chiesa would be behind him doing that, but he executed everything perfectly. Could have took it earlier if he wanted to. He didn't. Executed that, but Chiesa's, tenacity and his will to ensure that the team doesn't concede a goal was beautiful things to see, considering he's an attacker as well.
So it could have been a lot worse for Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think they could have had any complaints either. They had spells, 20 minutes, they chased the game, and then the enthusiasm of the Kop got the crowd going. And then you thought, OK, something might happen here. You know, can they get that winner that we always expect that like what we call a big side can do? They can just produce a moment like what Phil Foden did the weekend. But what you see with Liverpool at the moment, they haven't got that confidence that what, say, Manchester City have got at the moment. Everything is hard work. You're second guessing yourself. You're making elementary mistakes. The game looks really hard, and it's quite crazy to think and to see, because when you looked at Liverpool last season when they were at their best, everything seems so simple. And we're talking about world-class players, but it actually just shows you sometimes they have the same fragility as everybody else. They're just human beings. And when your confidence goes, and when you don't believe in yourself like Liverpool are at the moment, you can make vital mistakes. And that's where the goal comes from by Talby, because Virgil van Dijk last year couldn't make a mistake. Every game he was imperious. But right now, he's making these mistakes. He's second-guessing himself. And it was obviously credit to what Sunderland did, but it's a direct ball. They lose this first contact. How often do we see that? Then Talby wins that one, and then Virgil just panics. He tries to play that ball into McAllister, then Talby gets it. Virgil backs off, gives him too much respect, turns his back on it, which I don't like to see a centre-back do. But these are just the mistakes that are creeping into Liverpool's game all the time, Daniel.
Yeah, it's disappointing to see. Of course, they'll know we're better than that. It's one long ball. It's old school stuff. It's get it forward, win a flick on, and then pick up the pieces, and that's exactly what they've done. The execution, of course, Virgil knows he could do better than that. Virgil won't be happy with that going home. He knows he can do better than that. But in the end, it's thoroughly deserved. Sunderland worked tirelessly.
Did it feel a great surprise when the goal came either, did it?
No, not really at all, no. Because it was an even football match. The first half performance from Sunderland was magnificent, and then second half, I think Liverpool's structure kind of allowed them to have a little bit more control in the second half. But still, Sunderland were threatening.
He doesn't get credit for the equalising goal, Florian Wirtz, but well, in terms of the actual goal, but he does get loads of credit for having the ability to wind his way into that position as well.
And he showed, I would say, glimpses today. I've said it before the game. He has real quality, and we are going to see a player, but a little bit like Liverpool at the moment, it's a slow burner. If you looked at Alexander Isak right now, you wouldn't be going, "Oh, yeah, what a player he was last year." You'll be thinking, God, is this the same guy? He's just not playing to the level that he can. And I think with Wirtz, we are seeing it. I mean, he played in a few different positions today, but the goal was obviously all about him and Curtis Jones to a certain extent, because he did so well. One thing I will say is that Alderete was magnificent today, the left side centre-back. Even here, he keeps it alive. He gets a ball somehow, squeezes it to his mate. Talby just gets a loose, baggy touch. Curtis Jones pounces on it, and then the rest is all about this man. A little bit of skill, he jinks, and then he gets obviously a large slice of luck, doesn't he, off Mukalele?
He does, yes, but the thing for me is, we talk about the touch here, poor touch. Curtis Jones, a little fake he does here, gives him the space, but it's that touch for me. The first touch is the touch that gives him enough space. He executed that touch perfectly, and then he sort of slides it across. But as we see it develop anyway, we're talking about a guy who will deliver goals and assists consistently.
This is the feat you're talking
but that's
about,
the one right there, yep.
And a little chop there.
Again,
it's not his goal, Daniel, but will that give him the confidence that he needs?
I don't think it will give him the confidence he needs. I think he has belief in himself, and I think he knows he's a top player. It's a case of him slowly but surely coming into his own. I think, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, we know there's a player there. They wouldn't have spent that kind of money to bring him to the football club. I played with a player who had a similar style to his in Coutinho, in somebody who you could give him the ball in any area on the football pitch, and you could trust him to get on it, drop a shoulder, move left, move right. And when I actually look at Liverpool now, the manager has an issue, because I think the players he has for the system he has, it's quite a strange problem in a sense. I look at the team we had in 13-14. I think myself, we had Suarez, we had Sterling, we had Coutinho, and I look at this team and I think, are they better off playing a different system when Mo's away at AFCON? Because Ekitike and Isak with maybe a Wirtz behind, with the three in midfield that we're so used to seeing in Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and McAllister. That could be the solution. Right now, we're looking at a team who's trying to put square pegs in round holes, putting players in different positions that aren't their positions. Right now, that's the only system. If you're not going to play Mohamed Salah, it's the one system that actually does work with the players they have. The fullbacks, they've signed Frimpong. They've got Bradley coming back fit. 2 players who can bomb on. Your left side, you've got Kirkes who can bomb on. You've got Robertson who can bomb on. And the defence is what it is. But in the end, if I'm looking at the team, the manager typically plays 4-3-3, but today he played 4-4-2. So if you're going to change it and be bold and go, we're going to change formation, for me, I would have liked to see Ekitike and Isak play up front in the 2.
We can hear from him now. Here is Arne Slot with Juliet Farrington.
Arne, first of all, how would you reflect on this evening and the performance? Because you were talking about the weekend, about getting the win, not so much the performance. How would you assess that performance tonight?
I think a bit similar as in the weekend, a game without a lot of, I'm looking at the goal we conceding. A game where we didn't concede a lot, we didn't create a lot. Maybe we created a bit more than we conceded. And today, of course, very unlucky with the goal we've conceded. A deflection that could go anywhere, but in this period of time it goes in. But I really liked our reaction afterwards. I think you saw a team that wanted to make the equaliser, and when we did, tried everything to make the winner. Where at the end we were lucky as well, because they went one-on-one with Ali.
And Chiesa defended superbly.
Yeah, I think that's what you want a team or a player to do in a situation like that. Just give everything, even in a situation where you feel you cannot do a lot anymore, but just keep running, and that's what he did, and that's why he cleared the ball off the line. And another time, a game where we probably scored less than we could have scored, and the opponent scored. Were quite good in the few chances they had, making a goal out of that one.
It seemed very slow in the first half. What do you put that down to? Because when you made that substitution and Mo came on in the second, a little bit more energy, a little bit more fire about the place.
Yeah, but you have to take into account how the other team is playing. So they either go really aggressive and press us really high, and that's the reason why it's so difficult to beat them. They are very, very, very compact if they go low, and they are very aggressive when they press you high. And there's a reason probably why we're not the only team who couldn't beat them. I think a few other very good teams had their problems with them as well, and it's difficult. They don't concede a lot of goals. I think only 4 times they've conceded 2 goals. For the rest, 1 or even less. And the reason for that is that they are so compact in a low block and so aggressive in a high press. And then it looks indeed slow, but with so many bodies in and around the 18-yard box, it's difficult to find a free player over there. And we kept moving the ball around, crossed it in multiple times, I think. But they have some good headers in front of goal as well.
You were talking about being unlucky too, and Flo Wirtz, everybody thought he'd got his first Premier League goal tonight since coming to Liverpool, but then that became an own goal.
Oh, did it? Okay. Now then, of course, then that was lucky as well, but there's maybe a difference between hitting a shot from 11, 12 yards than hitting a shot from 20 yards. Because it was a chance, then he might have been lucky with the way it went in, but it was a good chance for him to score. Like I said, not a lot of chances for both teams, but I think we had a bit more, and we were very unlucky the second half, because I think we did what you were hoping for, keeping them on their half, trying, and then in one moment we concede, but we came back strong.
With Mo, with him going to AFCON as well, are you planning to use more of him before he goes, or is it just about finding, as we spoke about before the game, the right team for the right opponent?
That's always the situation. It has nothing to do with Mo or with anyone. That's always what you try as a manager. And we're now 10 minutes, 15 minutes after the game, so I haven't given the thought how we're going to play in the weekend. When we face Leeds, I think they had a good result today as well. So another challenge for us. And I have no clue yet who's going to start. No clue is a bit too much, but
you have an idea, but you're not going to say.
yeah, indeed.
Thank you, Arne.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, that is not going to be an easy game on Saturday night for Liverpool. They go to Ellen Road, Leeds beating Chelsea 3-1 this evening, and that's a really unusual set of results for a team that are the defending champions in the Premier League. That's all competitions, of course, but 9 defeats in those 14. And tonight was a chance to win back-to-back league games in the Premier League for the first time since September. Do you see, we've talked about what could fix this, what could change this for Liverpool. Is it going to take some time based on tonight's evidence?
For sure, it's going to take some time. I mean, I don't think there's a magic fix right now to put my finger on one thing. I just think collectively, the manager at this moment in time doesn't quite know his best 11. And with that being said, players coming back and trying to find their fitness. Wirtz is trying to get sharp again. Isak's not completely sharp at his level. We saw Joey Gomez come in tonight, right back, who's not been in the squad for a while on the pitch starting game. So collectively, I think the manager is trying to figure out, players are finding their rhythm, but the team's finding their rhythm. And many people, and including the managers, probably seeking confidence in and assurances that this is what I'm going with. This is the structure. This is probably the first time today I've noticed that the manager was changed what he would typically do. You know, so I think that they got to make a decision on what the structure is, which players he wants to go with, and then roll with it. And if the results don't come, but clearly from what we've seen, the results aren't coming right now.
Big call before the game as well to leave out Mo Salah for the second successive game. Half-time, the SOS, send on Salah, but it didn't produce the required result, Jamie. Which way next with this one?
I don't know, but I don't feel it's going to end well either way. You know, for Mohamed Salah, he'll look at it and think, I'm an elite player. There's no way I want to be sitting on the bench for Liverpool. For the manager to leave him out in a situation where you're going to lose him for possibly 8 games at AFCON. So you've got to play him while you can. He's your superstar footballer, but he obviously doesn't believe that right now. And he didn't come on and make the impact that Liverpool and the fans would really want. That was probably his best pass there. But it was a really difficult night for him. But I guess he's not really enjoyed sitting on that bench. That's not what Mohamed Salah is used to doing. So how this one ends up, you know, I wouldn't compare it to sort of when Alan Shearer was left out by Ruud Gullit all those years ago and it ended up being like a massive clash and one has to go in the end. I'm not sure we're quite at that point, but it does feel that something has to give because there is no way that Mohamed Salah is going to be content being a bit part player in this team. Whether it's in January or whether it's in the summer, if he finds the right club, because I think he deserves that right to maybe move on if things aren't going to go his way. But I can only see that outcome. I don't see really now that maybe once that trust is broken, especially with someone like Mo, who Daniel would know a lot better than me as a human being, I just feel like he needs that confidence and love from a manager. We all talk about how mentally strong he is, but that feels like it's going to come to a head at some point, Daniel.
Do you think he could leave the club in January?
I'd like to think not, but you never know in football. I'd like to think not. I think he's a player that, has he been performing to the level? We talk about stats, we talk about numbers, and that's what Mo's known for. Has he delivered those this season? No, he hasn't, but nobody else has either.
But you also know how much self-belief this guy has,
Yes.
and he will be hurting, won't he, right now?
Every player that is driven by, you know, goals, assists, and those are individual things, and I'm not suggesting Mo's an individual player, but he wants to be the reason why the team wins. Attackers, typically, are driven that way. It's unique when you have a striker or a winger who doesn't want to be the reason. My job is to score, my job is to assist. That is my job. I want to do that. Mo's delivered that since he's joined the football club. This is the first season where we can question him and go, oh, well, he's not doing this. But I'm not quite sure that Mohamed Salah is the reason why Liverpool aren't. Last season, he was the reason why the team won the league. And now we're quick to question, because we've got Wirtz coming, we've got Isak coming, guys who are young players, top class players, gonna potentially be world class. The pair of them, there's no debate in that. I truly believe Ekitike, all the attackers they have, Gakpo, this and that. But a man of Mohamed Salah's quality, it hurts me to see. I can tell that, you know, he's not happy, and you wouldn't be because you're used to being the main man. There comes a time in every player's career where managers owners and the player have decisions to make. I don't think this is the stage we're at with Mohamed Salah. Personally, I think the club can turn it around in terms of performances, and I think Mohamed Salah can turn it around in terms of performances. But what I don't want to see is this notion that we're almost pushing Mohamed Salah away because what he scored, he's the top scorer for the team. Yes, we could say there's a couple of penalties in there and whatever, but nobody's delivering top-level performances for Liverpool this season. If we actually ask those players right now, which one of you believe you've been at the level that you've set yourself and the standards you've set yourself for all these years? I'm not sure one of them can go.
Maybe only Szoboszlai, probably. I don't think there's any.
Yes.
But I'm with you. I think apart from that, Daniel, there's not one play. You could make a case for every player being left out on that side right now. The levels have dropped so significantly, haven't they?
Yeah, the levels have dropped. Look, I truly believe they can come back, though. I'm not suggesting that they can't come back.
Salah, would you be starting him on Saturday at Leeds?
But then again, I'm not the manager. I can't decide what I believe he would do. I'm saying if you're going to change the formation and play a slightly different form, I would go all the way with it. And I would say, OK, well, let's have a look at Ekitike and Isak up top and see whether that's the answer. If you're going to leave Salah out again, then I will try something different. And I've worked in a number 10 behind them and see if that can open a few doors. We know what Salah can do. Yes, has he been good this season? He hasn't been at his level. Mo knows that. But Mo also knows I'm a top player and I'm prepared to work my socks off to get back to the level that I've been playing at for all these
One thing
years.
for sure, it didn't work today playing Szoboszlai and Gomez at right back and right midfield. But it might be one where you go to Leeds and be more difficult to beat, if that's what he wants to set his team up. But if you're going there to try and win and you're thinking we need a goal from somewhere and playing in a Liverpool style and making sure that you're on the front foot, then Salah has to start.
It's going to be tough, that is for sure.
Regis, I heard the applause, the cheers in the away dressing room behind us when you came off the pitch. You're disappointed that you didn't come away with all 3 points?
Yeah, I'm not disappointed, to be fair, because it's a good point away, especially in this place. It's like privilege to play here. I think we played our football and happy with the first half, even if during the half-time we spoke together and we told that it was possible to push a bit more, just because we played well, but without probably the belief that it was possible to score, and we did it during the second half. As expected, the opponent tried to come back in the game with many subs and the power of the crowd, so they generate a new momentum. We defended well, had this opportunity after the equalizer to score the second goal, but this is football.
So close to a second goal as well, towards the very end.
Yeah, absolutely. It shows that we tried until the end, like usual, I would say. And but this it's not an easy situation. It's a 1v1 with the goalkeeper, 2 or 3 defenders behind you. So I think he gave his best, but it wasn't enough.
When you talk about feeling your players could do more in the second half and having that belief that they can go on and get something here, but you look so comfortable even before half-time. So why did you feel you had to say that?
Because I think we were good for the low build-up and the progressive phase, but after that you have to break the defense and to create chances, and it wasn't probably enough during the first half. Maybe we were even a bit surprised to control the game like that, and we told them it's possible. You did it, so push more because it's possible to score.
Your goal scorer was telling us that you're learning in the Premier League, but you seem to be learning pretty well.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of the main strengths of this team. They are humble and they want to learn, and I think in such difficult league, if you don't improve every day, it's impossible to sustain the level. So far it works well.
So far taking points off Arsenal, Chelsea and now Liverpool. What can realistically be achieved, or is the sky the limit as far as you're concerned on this education that you're on?
We don't know, we never know. I know that we have a young team, well connected, with the ambition to grow and to be better. And after that, you can't control the opposition. If they are better than us, just accept the situation. If not, try to win.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
He won't change, Regis Lebris. He's very process-driven. He won't get too high and he won't get too low in the dark moments. But they haven't come yet, these dark moments, because it's just been a story of success so far. And it is still a bit pinch yourself for Sunderland, who've got some very exciting fixtures come in the next couple of weeks. But, Jamie, I was going to ask you the question. Did you see anything tonight that made you think this team could actually stay in the top half?
Yes, I saw so many positives from the team. Lots of quality. I'm a big fan of the goalkeeper, Rose. Odergard, the left-sided centre-back, is a fantastic player. The only worry will be, obviously, AFCON's going to hit Sunderland extremely hard, where you're going to possibly lose 7 players, is it, David?
But not until after the derby, and that is the big one looming as far as Sunderland fans are concerned. But there are 7 players, yes.
And really important players as well.
Well, of the ones involved tonight, Siddiqui, Talbi and Reinildo, who all started tonight and have been significant figures. Bertrand Traore's influence in the team has grown as well. Habib Diarra started the season very well, but then picked up that injury. So I suppose there is a slight concern that Sunderland haven't seen him too much and he's going to go straight off to play for Senegal. I suppose there's 2 ways of looking at this, Daniel. You could say this is really difficult to lose so many players, but on the flip side, there's a load of boys that would have played a lot of football in the Championship that haven't had a sniff yet. And they know this could be their moment.
For sure, they know that for sure. They're going to be excited. I think it's been when you're a player who's probably come from the Championship and you've worked so hard to get your team promoted, you get to the Premier League and you're like, oh, I can't wait to get my chance. And they've not had
3 players turn up in your opposition.
So
That's football.
It's football, yeah. So for them now, it's a chance for them to show what they're about at this level, and they'll be ready, because maybe if the results continue as they are, the manager won't leave them out. They'll probably get more minutes and they'll earn more minutes. So
yep, just 2 wins in 7 in all competitions for Liverpool now. They're talking about that final bit of quality that was lacking tonight. And as I said to Manu earlier, they only had 4 shots on target in the whole game.
Yeah, I thought they put a positive spin on that there. I thought it was a very disappointing night. When they're absolutely needing 3 points, they're going to have any chance of pushing Arsenal or anything, then they can't go further behind, and they have already tonight. And they were playing Sunderland at home. I mean, it's a favourable fixture. They didn't have a lot of things today. I didn't think they had the urgency. Obviously, they pushed in the last 10, 15 minutes, but they certainly didn't have the final pass. Mo Salah, was quiet. Isak hardly had a touch again. He was pretty average. I thought overall it was quite a disappointing performance. Just after that momentum, the West Ham win, right, OK, let's get our season back on track. And I felt another step backwards there today.
And yet again in the Premier League, they've conceded first. I mean, Jose Talbi, who got that memorable winner at Stamford Bridge, was at it again on the big stage for Sunderland.
It's been the same story for quite a while with Liverpool, conceded the first goal and running after the score all the time. So it's very difficult, to cope with that kind of situation all the time, because you're missing confidence. You are not that good, to score goals. You conceded goal every single game. You have no clean sheet. It's very, for a team that comes out, from the last season being crowned champions, it's very hard to understand and to find the right explanation for that. So I have no idea what's going on in this dressing room, because when you look at the player individually, some of them used to be top in their position in the world, and they look average for weeks now.
Yeah, you could say it was a little bit unlucky, couldn't you? I mean,
gave it away initially, didn't he?
He gave it away initially, Virgil van Dijk, and then he went with the runner that Andy Robertson already had covered, so he didn't need to really drop. He could have pressed straight away. And then the deflection, when things are not going your way, obviously deflection's the only place in the goal it could have gone. However, Liverpool go up the other end, and the shot from Wirtz wasn't going in. So, that almost evened itself out. So I don't think they can have too many complaints there. And as Manu said a minute ago, if anybody was going to score, the best chance in the last 10 minutes was very much Sunderland. So,
and McAllister, when he hit the post, that's it.
Yes, absolutely. Not as how many 16 odd shots or whatever, but nothing really clear. That wasn't a Liverpool performance that we've been seeing for the last few years.
Yeah, they did get level, but Florian Wirtz didn't get his first goal. which is very, very unfortunate. Yeah. But when you see the angle here, it is going wide.
Yeah, I thought Curtis Jones did really well here to read that touch, because it wasn't the worst of touches, but he read it and then played a lovely little through ball. Wirtz's great little feet and miskicks it, really. He miskicks it. That's going towards the corner flag. When we see it at a certain angle, it's going nearer to the corner flag than the goal. However, lovely little touch and touch again there, and then it takes a very favourable deflection. We see this is the best angle. He really miskicks it. That's going way, way wide, and they get a bit of luck. But as I say, Sunderland had a bit of luck with the first one deflection, and so did Liverpool. So that evens itself out. But he's getting a little bit better now, Wirtz, I think, and that's one of the encouraging signs that he's starting to look like a £125 million player.
They were pushing for the winner, but actually they had Chiesa to thank for actually not losing the game, didn't they, when Isidore went through?
Look at that. What a great assist.
From the keeper.
Would have been, amazing pass, Should have played number 10 in this position, because I never seen that before in my life. I saw, sometimes goalkeeper giving an assist on the goal, but this one, the pass he's giving is amazing. And Chiesa, I think, met the great run, to come back and to defend until the end, and he stopped that goal. But honestly, that's not the only occasion, for Sunderland to win that game. That's what worries me a lot, because it's a promoted team. With all the respect I have for them, we must give credit to them, because they play with composure and resilience. But honestly.
Yeah, goalkeeper was desperate for the assist there, wasn't he? You could see his reaction. And obviously, Chiesa was brought on to maybe make that difference, maybe score a goal. I bet you didn't think he was going to come on to save.
I was going to ask you for your analysis of him running back, but you had no insight from your career of doing that.
I would love to be able to tell you as a centre-forward how he did it, but I never got into my own penalty box.
You would have scored this one, no?
Yeah. No, great work. Absolutely great work. I mean, as I say, brought on to win the game, but he's actually ended up saving the game.
They were looking towards Virgil van Dijk, understandably. He had one header, but actually hit his own teammate, didn't he?
Kirkes stood in front of goal. You can see him on the goalkeeper, and then he just pulls off the goalkeeper at the last minute to make sure he's not offside, but it's hard to tell on that angle, is that going in? Virgil van Dijk.
Hard to say.
Yeah. But he's strong, he rises above everybody else, and that is going towards that far post. Whether it's going in or not, we're not sure, but he's certainly frustrated.
And all of Anfield was at the end, understandably so.
Yeah, I think so. A point is not enough, really. I still think deep down, Liverpool fans, Liverpool players thought that if they can get on a run, that the title's not over. It was only 9 points before today. And with an amazing run, that's definitely, Liverpool are certainly capable of doing it, but performance not good enough, another bad result, and okay, if it was against Manchester City or something like that, you think, all right, then I'll take a point. But against Sunderland, you have to be winning that game at home to have any title aspirations. So it's starting to look bleak now for Liverpool in terms of the title. 10 points behind now. 11 points behind now. Maybe they're going to have to refocus and think Champions League is the main aim.
Whilst making sure that they're playing Champions League football next season as well, financially.
That's what I mean. I mean, when I said Champions League, I wasn't talking about the Champions League.
Oh, I see.
I was talking about top four now is essential for them. Anyway, they'll keep going, they'll keep trying. But as I say, forgetting the result for a minute, it was the performance that I thought I was quite a bit disappointed with.
Yeah.
Mikel, at 1-0 for so long in that match, was it uncomfortable for you at times?
It is always, and against Brentford, because they just need a throw in, and it's a chaos and an adventure, and 1-0 is never enough against them. It's true that way. I think we dominated the game, created the biggest chances. We only conceded one chance on the save of David from the corner, I think. Overall, very happy. It was the week that we had 3 days later without any kind of recovery to do what we've done again. I'm very pleased. I'm proud of the place.
You just mentioned that save, and I have to ask you about it, because David Raya, you've spoken about the difference that he's made for you in goal. That was one of the best saves of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, I haven't looked at the back, but it looked like a great reaction and a really important one. I think their keeper made some very good saves as well, because we had some big open chances. But that's what you need in key moments, our players individually, to
to do what they have to do, and we certainly done it. Another clean sheet, that we had 4 games without a clean sheet and a good victory.
Clean sheet, 18 unbeaten, 4 wins in a row at home. You tick all of those things off, and you also add into the fact you've had so much football to play. You spoke about rotation before the game. Right now, are you getting maximum out of this team, do you think?
Yeah, especially because the amount of injuries that we still have, and we lost Saliba, we lost Big Gavi, today we lost Mosquera. It's been a challenge, but Jurrion had to play as a centre, but whoever comes in, Ben White, I think he was excellent today. So everybody that given the opportunity is performing.
Yeah, and given the players that aren't available and the way he's rotated and the week they've had, some run of results for them.
Yeah, 3 points were very important today. That was not the best game so far from Arsenal, but they created the best chances, and I think they deserve to win. I'm worried about Mosquera and as well Rice. I don't know if Rice is injured, but it's good to make a turnover today. And after the week they had, 3 very important heavy games. So, but I don't want to get more injured players,
He's talked about players continually stepping up. Merino's right at the top of that queue.
Amazing.
With another headed goal in that first 10 minutes tonight.
It's amazing how he's very impressive, in this position. Michael, I think you can give him more advice, but he's filled up, the gap, in this position. And as I said before, he scored a great goal again, His movement is kind of typical of a striker, in a penalty area between defenders. He cut, the cross, great cross, from Wright. Great movement as well on the right flank. And his finishing is great because he's typical of a striker, He's cutting the edge on the first post, and he anticipates, the movement of this defender, and the finishing is great. So Gyökeres must ask himself what I'm doing on the bench.
That's 11 he's got for club and country this season, Mikel Merino.
Exactly, and we never really had him down as a regular goalscorer until sort of the last year or so, and he's really stepped up to the plate. I mean, I love the timing of that run, and he's got that. He's very good in the air. There's lots of people that can head the ball if they're unchallenged, but when you time a run like that, it's got to be so precise. Like, you can make your run early and you'll end up way past the near post, or you'll end up pushing on to the next defender. So you're trying to find a gap in between, like a 2-yard gap, and you've got to time that to perfection, literally passing the defender as the ball is just about to land on the defender's head, and you nip in front and nod it in. And that timing is so difficult. I mean, it takes years and years and years of practice to understand, right, what's the defender going to do? What's the wide man going to do? When he crosses it, because if you get there a split second too far, the defender sees it and wrestles you out the way or heads out of the way. You've got to almost catch him, bang, in the last split second, just nip in front of him and score. And it's a very difficult skill. People look at that and think it was a reasonably easy header. Well, the header's the easy bit. The timing of the run is, and he's got that. He's a very, very good timer of his runs.
Yeah, and it stayed that way for a long time. You're a little bit anxious in that second half at 1-0, but eventually Saka off the bench settled it.
Yeah, at the end, finally he scored that goal because he missed a great chance before that, a couple of minutes before that. And he was kind of lucky because, I think Raya did everything, to save that goal, but it came at the end of the game and he secured 3 points. But before that, I didn't like really the first 15 minutes in the second half. I think Brentford was the best team on the pitch, and then they put a lot of pressure, on Arsenal defense. Raya didn't have a lot of things to do except the great save he did in the first half. But I was kind of worried because I thought Arsenal were very sloppy, and they were going backwards, all the time. But finally, they get the 3 points, so that's the most important.
Saka's 7th of the season. He's the top scorer now. There's the next 6. It's Villa away, which is very difficult on Saturday morning, potentially. They've won again tonight, 8 out of the last 9. Club Brugge, of course, away in the Champions League, where Arsenal are top. Wolves, Everton, Palace and Brighton. I mean, they've got a real opportunity to get a stranglehold at the top of this league here.
They have. I mean, the 2 away games, Aston Villa and Everton, let's just focus on the Premier League here, those 2 away games could be a little bit tricky. But I can't really see anybody at the Emirates at the moment. I can't really see anyone taking points off Arsenal. Certainly not Wolves, the way they're going. 2 points so far in the league so far. Crystal Palace are a good team, but that's in the League Cup, so it won't concern Mikel Arteta so much. And then, of course, Brighton at home. Brighton concede a lot of goals, but they can beat anybody, Brighton, on the day. But it's not the worst run in the world, that. I think this next game away at Aston Villa is a big challenge. If they win that, then, wow, they're looking imperious.
Yeah, the early kick-off on Saturday. Now, you asked about Declan Rice. Mikel Arteta has said he will be assessed tomorrow. He could walk, but he couldn't play when he had to come off.
Is it a muscle? It's
well, he's going to be assessed tomorrow. Might be a calf issue.
It's not what you want, is it?
No, not really, because it's such important for the team, and that's why I said, I'm worried. Mosquera left the game with injury. I hope it's not that bad, for him, because this guy is so important.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So another good night for Arsenal at the top of the Premier League. But as you've mentioned, drop points at Anfield for Liverpool. 1-1 with Sunderland. Here's the Liverpool boss, Arne Slot.
It seemed very slow in the first half. What do you put that down to? Because when you made that substitution and Mo came on in the second, a little bit more energy, a little bit more fire about the place.
Yeah, but you have to take into account how the other team is playing. So they either go really aggressive and pressures really high, and that's the reason why it's so difficult to beat them. They are very, very, very compact if they go low, and they are very aggressive when they press you high. And there's a reason probably why we're not the only team who couldn't beat them. I think a few other very good teams had their problems with them as well, and it's difficult. They don't concede a lot of goals. I think only 4 times they've conceded 2 goals. For the rest, 1 or even less. And the reason for that is that they are so compact in a low block and so aggressive in a high press. And then it looks indeed slow. But with so many bodies in and around the 18-yard box, it's difficult to find a free player over there. And we kept moving the ball around, crossed it in multiple times, I think. But they have some good headers in front of goal as well.
You were talking about being unlucky too, and Flo Wirtz, everybody thought he'd got his first Premier League goal tonight since coming to Liverpool, but then that became an own goal.
Oh, did it? Okay. Now then, of course, then that was lucky as well, but there's maybe a difference between hitting a shot from 11, 12 yards than hitting a shot from 20 yards. Because it was a chance, then he might have been lucky with the way it went in, but it was a good chance for him to score. Like I said, not a lot of chances for both teams, but I think we had a bit more, and we were very unlucky the second half, because I think we did what you were hoping for, keeping them on their half, trying, and then in one moment we concede, but we came back strong.
They did, but the home form is a concern, isn't it? Because, as I say, 2 wins in 7. We spent last season saying, it's got the aura, the beating in the tunnel. That's beginning to waver a touch, isn't it?
It is, and Sunderland are not the only team that have come to Anfield over the last 5-10 years since they've been a top team, challenging for the Premier League and Champions League. Virtually every team comes and plays a low block. It's down to Liverpool they have all the possession most of the time. It's down to them to break them down, and they didn't really do that today enough. They had a few shots and they had a couple of chances, but really, with the chances they had, you can't say, they should have scored more goals than the 1 goal. You need to create lots and lots of chances to score a couple of goals. It's very difficult to score a goal. So you need to create, and they just didn't create enough, I didn't feel. Hopeful balls into the box, pressure, yes, energy, yes. Certainly towards the end of the game. But Mo Salah was pretty non-existent, so was Isak, and they're 2 of the players that you look at and think, wow, the quality of those players, one of them will dig us out of the hole in a tough game like that, but none of them looked like it tonight. And it was a couple of changes that sort of brought a little bit of impetus and then a little bit of a deflected goal to score. Overall, a disappointing night, I would say, for Liverpool. It wasn't an awful performance, but for what we've seen over the last few years, it was it lacked a bit of quality.
You asked about Isak on the back of his first Premier League goal on Sunday. You said he didn't see him in the game much. On the pitch for 86 minutes, touched the ball 14 times.
Yeah, and he was only on... Yeah, exactly, yeah. I said to you at half-time, didn't I, when we were watching the game, I don't really think Isak's touched the ball in this first half. And you hoped that after the West Ham game... Listen, he wasn't amazing in the West Ham game, but he scored a cracking goal. It was a beautiful finish. And you just hoped that would give him the confidence and then he would go on. But again, another lacklustre performance. Difficult for a centre-forward when teams play deep, lots of bodies around. It is difficult. I found it difficult. You know, lots of strikers will find it difficult. Probably only Erling Haaland, that's got so many different strings to his bow, that wouldn't find it difficult. So not much space for him, but he's just waiting for him, aren't you, to click into gear.